He's 10 years older, she's a rising star. Their unexpected love changed everything. Some stories begin with fireworks. Theirs began with a glance, brief, innocent, but unforgettable. When Yu Long and Mei Mei first met, the air seemed to hold its breath. He was quiet, composed, radiating confidence built over years of experience. She, by contrast, was bright-eyed, playful, full of unfiltered joy. When their eyes met for the first time, something subtle shifted. Crew members described the moment as electric. It wasn't scripted chemistry. It was instinct, that invisible pull between two souls who, despite their differences, instantly recognized something familiar. On screen, they were characters in love. Off-screen, they became mirrors reflecting each other's vulnerability. From that moment, fans sensed what the cameras couldn't hide, a connection that felt destined, yet dangerously real. Yu Long was already an established name, a man whose calm composure made him the embodiment of quiet strength. Mei Mei was still climbing, chasing the light of recognition. They stood at different points in their careers, yet when placed side by side, everything aligned perfectly. His steadiness anchored her, her energy awakened him. That contrast, youth meeting experience, chaos meeting calm, became their power. What should have been a generational gap turned into gravitational force. Their dynamic fascinated viewers because it felt honest, two people finding balance not in perfection, but in contrast. In interviews, when Yu Long spoke, Mei Mei listened, truly listened. When she laughed, his eyes softened. Even silence between them carried meaning. The world saw an age gap, they only saw a connection that neither fame nor opinion could explain. When filming ended, most co-stars move on. But not them. Their friendship lingered, quietly, stubbornly. They kept crossing paths at press conferences, variety shows, even charity events. Each encounter reignited curiosity. There were no dramatic confessions, just gestures that spoke volumes. Yu Long offering her his coat backstage, Mei Mei waiting for him after interviews, the way their laughter always found its way back to each other. The media noticed. So did millions of fans. During one live show, when asked about his ideal woman, Yu Long said, "Someone kind, someone whose smile feels like spring." The camera cut to Mei Mei, her smile trembled, her eyes glistened, and that clip exploded online. Suddenly, every fan wanted to believe it wasn't coincidence. Was this still performance, or had fiction quietly melted into reality? The line between them had blurred forever. But fame is never kind to quiet hearts. The moment whispers turned to headlines, judgment followed. Critics mocked the 10-year age gap, tabloids hinted she was seeking a career boost, and online trolls hurled insults at their sincerity. Every interview, every appearance became ammunition for speculation. Yet, instead of defending themselves, Yu Long and Mei Mei chose silence. They didn't issue statements or post rebuttals. They simply kept showing up, together, consistent, unbothered. Their unity spoke louder than words. Mei Mei once said, "When someone truly loves you, the outside noise doesn't matter." That quote spread like wildfire. Fans turned it into wallpapers, quotes, even tattoos. It wasn't just a response to gossip, it was a statement of faith. Their love didn't shout. It endured. That quiet defiance became their signature, strength wrapped in grace. For years, their relationship remained an unspoken truth. Then, one night changed everything.
A private dinner among friends, a soft melody playing, a candle flickering.
Cameras weren't supposed to be there, but someone captured it, the moment Yu Long knelt before Mei Mei. His hands shook slightly as he held out the ring. He looked into her eyes and said, "You once told me the world was kind to you. I want to spend my life proving it can be even kinder." That single line froze the internet. She cried, whispered yes, and the world erupted. It wasn't a publicity stunt. It was intimate, raw, unfiltered. That short 30-second clip was replayed millions of times across social media, becoming the most talked about proposal of the year. Fans didn't just see two celebrities, they saw two people brave enough to love beyond expectation. Their wedding wasn't extravagant, it was emotional. The venue was adorned with thousands of white lilies, Mei Mei's favorite flower, and gentle pastel tones that symbolized tenderness. Instead of grand speeches, the ceremony was filled with laughter, tears, and quiet affection. When Yu Long saw Mei Mei walking down the aisle, his composure broke for the first time. His eyes glistened as he mouthed, "You're my forever." That moment trended on Weibo within minutes. Guests described the atmosphere as soft but powerful. A celebration not of fame, but of survival, of love that had endured doubt, criticism, and time. When they exchanged vows, Yu Long whispered, "In every lifetime, I will find you again." Those words weren't lines from a movie, they were his truth. And that truth became China's most beloved real-life fairy tale. After the wedding, the couple disappeared from public eye for months. When they returned, it wasn't with flashy brand endorsements or magazine covers, it was with glimpses of normalcy. A photo of Mei Mei laughing while burning toast. A clip of Yu Long trying, and failing, to braid her hair. They shared moments most celebrities hide, messy, funny, genuine. Fans adored it because it reminded them that even stars crave simplicity. Mei Mei revealed in an interview that Yu Long still wakes her up with breakfast every morning. "It's not grand gestures," she said, "it's quiet consistency." In an industry obsessed with perfection, they dared to be ordinary, and that made them extraordinary. Their love wasn't curated. It was lived, one imperfect, beautiful day at a time. The magnetism of Yu Long and Mei Mei goes beyond romance. They represent balance, two people standing at opposite ends of experience, finding harmony through empathy. He steadies her, she reminds him to dream again. They prove that love doesn't need symmetry, it needs sincerity. That's what captivates audiences. In a world that prizes attention, they found strength in silence. While others chase trends, they choose truth. Their age gap became symbolic, not of difference, but of understanding. She brings lightness, he brings calm. Together, they form something neither could be alone. Their love reminds us that connection isn't about fitting perfectly. It's about complementing each other's flaws, finding poetry in imperfection, and choosing to stay when leaving would be easier. The reason this story continues to trend year after year isn't just because it's romantic, it's because it's real. In an industry filled with publicity stunts and fleeting relationships, Yu Long and Mei Mei represent something audiences crave: authenticity. They never sold their love, they lived it quietly. Every gesture, every smile, every silence carried sincerity. They remind viewers that love can exist without hashtags or validation. Their journey also challenges cultural norms, proving that emotional maturity and youthful energy can coexist beautifully. For younger fans, they're proof that patience is still powerful. For older viewers, they're a reminder that tenderness doesn't fade with age. Their story isn't just a headline. It's hope, the kind that makes people believe in love again. From their decade-long journey, 5 lessons echo beyond fame. First, love doesn't rush.
It grows in quiet corners.
Second, true connection doesn't demand validation, it demands trust. Third, age, fame, and rumors mean nothing if your bond is rooted in respect. Fourth, sometimes silence speaks louder than defense. And finally, real love is not about how you look together, but how you survive together. Yu Long and Mei Mei have become more than actors. They've become symbols of enduring love in a world obsessed with speed. Their story whispers to us, love doesn't need to be loud to be real, it just needs to last. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey through the life and love of Yu Long and Mei Mei, a story that proves that even in the glittering chaos of fame, true affection can still bloom quietly. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to LVT Showbiz.
Tell us, do you believe a love can overcome fame, age, and public judgment?
Your voice keeps our channel alive, and your engagement helps us bring you more unforgettable stories from the world of Chinese entertainment.
This is LVT-SHOWBIZ, wer wie teuren real stories into timeless emotions.
Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.